What's up, JEFusion fans? This is Philip and welcome back to another video. So I'm finally going to talk about Gozyuger VS Boonboomger, the movie. Now, the movie has been out, for a couple of months already, so you could find it online with English subtitles. But just in case anyone who hasn't watched it yet, I'm gonna try to summarize the movie real quick before I give my honest review. So I might include some spoilers in there. So again, just to be safe, there could be some spoilers ahead. So, anyways, let's talk about the movie. So what happens is like the Gozyugers fight this enemy called like Universe No One, and they all end up being transported into the world of the Boonboomgers. And of course, like they meet the Boonboomgers and they work with the Boonboomgers to defeat the enemy. And they are also assisted by 3 Sentai Reds from anniversary seasons as well. So, like the Gozyugers end up meeting like some Boonboomger members separately. So, of course, we have Hoeru, who meets Taya Hando and Bundorio Bunderas. Rikuo and Sumino end up meeting Mira, aka Boom Pink. Ryugi and Kinjiro meet Genba, Boom Orange. And Mashiro ends up meeting Ishiro and Joe, so Boom Blue and Boom Black. Sakito is also in the movie, but he ends up meeting, or he ends up being paired with Fire Candle of all people. So Bouquet is also there, of course, and she's stuck with Shirabe, who, despite having her boon changer from the show, still couldn't transform. So maybe it was made without a transformation function and just serves as a communication device basically. So what they just do is geek out together. Shirabe geeking out over Bundorio and Bouquet geeking out over Rikuo, and that's all that they do basically for most of their time in the movie, which honestly was one of the more disappointing points. But anyways, let's move on. So, as for so Taya and Hoeru, of course, as they work together. So Hoeru apparently has also has this like thing where apparently because of Universe No One's powers, so he was separated into 2 personas. So we have this regular Hoeru, which we'll just call him Hoeru from this point on, and this light version of himself, which I will call Saint Hoeru, because apparently this Hoeru transforms into Saint Goju Wolf, which is exclusive to this movie. So Taya, like trying to help Hoeru, so he makes it his job. He decides that his job is going to be delivering Hoeru to his friends, which again plays into his delivery man persona from the original Boonboomger. So on Rikuo's side, so they work together to find a missing dog. So on Ryugi and Kinjiro's side, so they apparently have to clear some obstacle courses with deadly traps, and with Mashiro and his group had to fight someone. Okay, so I have mentioned that there are 3 legendary Sentai Reds from anniversary seasons of the franchise, and they are as follows. One is Yamato Kazakiri, aka Jiwo Eagle. So he appears to help Rikuo's team find this missing dog. Number 2, we have Satoru Akashi, aka Boken Red. So he appears to Ryugi and his group, and he was the one who set the traps and obstacles. It's actually his work. Yeah, so he wants them to clear those obstacles. And finally, we have Captain Marvelous, aka Gokai Red, who appears to Mashiro and his group, simply challenging them to a fight. So, of course, Rikuo and his group find the missing dog. Ryugi and his group were able to clear the deadly traps and obstacles. And as for Mashiro, like Ishiro actually was pointing a gun, like his boom handle gun mode, actually. So he was pointing gun at Captain Marvelous's face, but Marvelous actually was pointing his. He actually secretly got his Gokai gun out and was pointing at Ishiro's abdomen. So technically, it ends in a draw, but basically, Marvelous says, "Meh, good enough, you pass." Now, on Sakito's side of things, or Sakito and Fire Candle, so they were actually fighting another enemy in this movie. So there's a new Hashirian called Galaxy Circuit Guruma. So he's like another boss character in this film, but the main boss basically is Universe No One, although they work together eventually. So yeah, it's the basically Sakito and Fire Candle work together to defeat Guruma. Again, Bokeh and Shirabe were just stuck in Shirabe's office geeking out, so that's their thing. So eventually, so like all the Boom Boomgers and Gozyugers ended up like coming together as one, and of course, like they fight the three main enemies. So Universe No One, Guruma, and Saint Goju Wolf. So so Hoeru eventually defeats Saint Goju Wolf in a one-on-one battle by forcefully absorbing him into himself, like that's how it went. Just forcefully absorbing Saint Goju Wolf back into himself. Yeah. So apparently Hoeru couldn't transform, by the way, because like Saint Goju Wolf took away his transformation powers. So yeah, that's what happened. So again, so they also had to fight like three enemy generals from the anniversary seasons that I have mentioned earlier. So from Juwoger, so they have Adoras, I believe. So from Bokenger, so we have Yami no Yaiba, and from Gokaiger we have General Damaras. So they also fight. They also had to fight those three generals as well. So like in that battle, so the legendary Reds gave their Sentai rings to the Gozyugers, and they also used it basically just like a power boost, and they didn't really transform into those Sentai Reds, but again, like energy power boost or something, but it didn't work. So they actually needed those Sentai rings because Universe No One has a very powerful barrier that they couldn't break through, even with their supposedly, maxed out powers, I guess. So they need those original Sentai rings. But like used separately, they don't work. So what they ended up doing is that they gave all those rings to Hoeru, plus Taya decides to give his own ring, making it 4 legendary Sentai rings, and then Hoeru uses all of them, focuses their energy, and uses it to destroy Universe No One's barrier, which works. Although, apparently, he couldn't use the Saint Goju Wolf power-up. So he was just regular old Goju Wolf using, again, only boosted by 4 legendary Sentai rings. And of course, after the defeat of all the enemies, so the Gozyugers were able to go back to their world where they resume supposedly, their fight against each other, and they would of course eventually defeat Juralix, Sid Lix, and Hoeru and Fire Candle would have their epic final battle. Now, as for the Boomboomgers, so apparently because of the events of the team up movie, so they had to basically cancel the Big Bang Grand Prix, I believe. So with that said, so the Boomboomgers can now get back to joining the Big Bang Grand Prix, which I'm still waiting for, Toei. So I want to see the actual Grand Prix. Like, I want to see them win the Big Bang Grand Prix, you know? That needs to happen. So, anyways, time for the review. Now, I do have a lot of problems with the movie. So, first off, Hoeru and Taya. So, if I were Hoeru in that situation, I would be shocked to see Taya and call him Natsume. But no, that didn't happen, you know. Again, this is a reference to Harui Yuchi, you know, playing both Taya Hando and Natsume Tsutsumi. So, again, Hoeru was acting like he's never seen this guy before. In like near the end of the movie, though, like he does mention to Taya that, like, you remind me of someone that I know. Basically, that's what he says, and that is like at least his reference to Natsume. But if I were in Hoeru's case, I would be shocked and I would be calling him Natsume at that point. But again, that's how the writers did it. Now, like the rest of the Boomboomgers and Gozyugers, specifically the ones who encountered the legendary Sentai, I did like those parts quite a bit. Now, again, like Fire Candle and Sakito also did a great job, but the least, or probably the most disappointing part with the combination again, Bouquet and Shirabe. Now, of course, we know that the Bouquet is capable of combat, but Shirabe isn't. So, because, again, her boom changer is only there for communications. So, they were stuck in, again, basically, it forces Bouquet to be stuck in a non-combatant position as well. So, yeah. Another disappointing part of the movie is like how Hoeru just simply has to absorb his light self forcefully. Like, if that was the case, he could have done that the first time, you know. So, yeah. But the worst part of the movie is that this was also affected by the Maya Gate scandal. Now, in some close-up shots, like Kohaku Shida is, of course, like in those original shots, but once everybody comes together, even those scenes that where Sumino was seen working with like Rikuo and Mira, Kohaku Shida is still superimposed on Maya Imamori. Therefore, it means that Maya has indeed shot the team-up movie. She was supposed to be there until she was removed by Toei, or rather by Seiju. Okay? So again, like, this is like the worst case of editing that I've ever seen. You know, like Kohaku Shida's superimposition is so obvious. Now, on the other hand, I also understand that it, again, would be more costly to shoot everything from scratch to make sure that Kohaku would be like in the movie, not superimposed, but like actually with the other actors. But again, circumstances like behind the scenes, especially this copyright problem with Seju. Yeah, again, it is a very complicated thing to talk about, but nonetheless, it I really think it negatively affects the movie. Now, as for like the best part of the movie, what I like about it is that it's an hour long. Now compare that to other Super Sentai movies, whether those are like the summer movies, the standalone movies, or like team up movies. Those are just glorified episodes that fit within 25 to 30 minutes. Like you can take any other, Super Sentai movie or team up and just put them on TV because it just fits that 30-minute runtime, basically. You know, and that for me was the most disappointing part. Like, at least for all the other movies. Yeah, like for example, like King Odra the movie, I love it, but because it just ran for about 30 minutes, I was also unsatisfied because it was too short. I wanted more. It was good, but I wanted more. That was the problem. But here, with Gozyuger versus Boonboomger, like you have enough time to see the Rangers interact with each other, some like plot development and things like that. So what also is interesting is like the team dynamic that they did in this movie. Like typically in team up movies, if like Rangers would be separated into smaller groups, what you would usually get would be like typically Rangers of the same color are grouped together. Now in this case, like both Reds, like Taya and Hoeru work together, which is very, very common. Again, like Red Rangers working together, Blue Rangers also together. Like if there are Green Rangers and Black Rangers, they're also together. Or like let's say like Green Rangers and Black Rangers are sometimes like interchangeable. Like you might see like a point where like this Sentai team has a Green Ranger, and then like Team B has a Black, or Team A, let's say, as Sentai A has a Green Ranger, but Sentai B has a Black Ranger, but all the other colors like correspond to each other. So you would see like well, of course, like you have no choice. Like the Green Ranger and Black Ranger work together, even though they're the only ones that do not correspond with each other color wise. And as for like the six Rangers, especially, like you would also see them working together. But in this case, Mashiro was working with Boom Blue and Boom Black, while Sakito was working with Fire Candle. When normally you would expect like Goju Polar and Boom Violet on the same group. But again, this adds an interesting dynamic to the movie, in terms of like the characters interacting with each other. So it's not your typical like individual groups. So again, like it's also interesting to see like Fire Candle and Bouquet. Typically, like they would still be considered. Well, at that point, they're not really antagonists, but definitely at that point, like Bouquet is already allied with the Gozyugers thanks to Rikuo. But of course, we all know that Fire Candle would later become the final boss, technically, of Gozyuger. But at least in the movie, like it's a temporary truce. So, with that said, with everything said and done, again, I'm gonna be generous here and give Gozyuger versus Boonboomger a 3 out of 5. Again, with all of the problems that I've mentioned earlier, there were definitely a lot of things that were holding back, holding this movie back from becoming great. But because it is like the final, team up that again we're gonna get as of this point, and like it still is, like it still, I guess, does its job being an anniversary team up as well. Again, with the inclusion of legendary Red Rangers, if you will. But again, it is nice. I won't say it is entirely bad, but again, like I do have problems with it clearly, with some of the plot points that I've mentioned, and again, like the Maya Imamori scandal, again negatively affecting everything, from episode 36 going forward. Again, we also see that problem in this movie with Kohaku Shida just being superimposed. But again, all that said, I still, watch the movie from start to finish, and I appreciate it for what it was. And again, I'm still hoping that Super Sentai would make a comeback soon. So, anyways, what do you guys think? If you've seen the movie, tell me what you think down in the comment section. And as always, thank you for watching. Please do leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, and don't forget that notification bell so you get the latest from JEFusion. This has been Philip, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.